majority of people are having access to clean and pure water. There are other people who don't have access to clean and pure water as well. But people who are using fancy RO water purifiers, they need to be cautious that is the RO water purifying is really purifying your water, or it is in fact making your water more toxic. And that's the entire discussion of today's video, to help you become aware of what is the right water filtration or right water purification that you should be using, so that the water that goes inside your body is helping you nourish your body and it is not harming the body and it does not become toxic for your body. So we'll understand what are the 3 harmful effects of using the RO water purifier, and we need to identify whether do you really need to use the RO water or not. And this comes from my personal story when I recently moved to a new place and everybody around me was using the RO purifier, and I also I asked them and they said, you have to use RO in this area. So I installed the RO purifier, but after using it, a couple of months, we realized there is something which is not right. So I just went in and did some research on RO, and I found out that what is important to put an RO purifier is the level of TDS, which is the total dissolved solids. Now, if the TDS is more than 500, then it is said that you need to put an RO purifier and it is not acceptable for the consumption. Now, when I checked my tap water TDS, my tap water TDS was 84, and after the RO filtration, that reading went to 7. Now, this water which is of TDS 7, or which is anything which is below 50, is super harmful and toxic for the body. And the person who came to install RO, he was very happy to show, see the reading has come down from 84 to 7. But that person has no knowledge about whether that this is good or not. So I went and I researched and I realized that the water that you're drinking is absolutely harmful. It is absolutely unhealthy. It is even mentioned on the website of one of the biggest water purifier manufacturer in India, and they say that water below 50 TDS is harmful for human consumption. Now let us understand why this water is harmful. The first one is it creates a lot of disease in the body. So there's this research which talks about that it from hypertension to cardiovascular disorders to tiredness to feeling weakness, muscle cramps, fatigue. It also increases your the ladies, the females who are expecting, so it increases the chances of pregnancy complications. Also the complication in the newborn increases if the water that you are using is way below the normal TDS level, because the minerals which the body needs, which the water must have, they are completely depleted from this RO purified water. From ulcers to stomach problems, indigestion, constipation, all of the host of the problems are created if you are using this. Basically, what I call it as a dead water. So the water is absolutely dead. It has no minerals, it has no life. So that's the second thing, which is it leads to a mineral deficiency. So around 50 to 60% of calcium and magnesium is lost during the process of filtration. Not just that, it also impacts the food that you cook in. So if you are using the RO filtered water for cooking the food, that also leaches out minerals and essential nutrients from the food. So the food that you cook in the RO water is also not as nutritious as it should be. So the mineral deficiency is in 2 ways. One is it's depleted, the minerals are depleted from the water itself. Secondly, when the water is used for cooking, it also depletes minerals from the food. So vital minerals like calcium and magnesium, if they are depleted, they directly impact the levels of vitamin D in the body, which leads to poor bones and joint health. So mineral deficiency leads to disease, and all this creates problem in the body. And we are drinking and we are trying to find why am I having all these problems. So we'll understand what to do in the last part of the video. The last one, which is not related to any kind of harm to the body, but it is related to the harm to the environment. So with every 1 glass of water that you drink, you waste 3 glasses of water. So that's how high the water wastage is with the RO purifier. And when I came to know this fact, I was like just I could not take that, because I am wasting 3 glasses of water for every glass of water I drink. That's a criminal, wastage of water. And that was something which was not acceptable to me. Like, there are people who use that wastewater for other purposes, like, not in our case. And I'm not, like, I'm sure most of the people in India, if they're not using that water for some other purpose, it's usually discarded. So it creates disease, it creates mineral deficiencies, or not just creating imbalance in the body, but it is also creating imbalance in the ecosystem, in the environment, because of the water wastage that it is creating. So make sure you check the TDS of your tap water. Okay, it is very important to check the TDS of your tap water, and if it is anything less than 500, ideally it is less than 500 as per the guidelines, but as per the so-called RO water purifier manufacturer, they say, like, if it has to be 300 or less. So let's say it is 300 and less, and you have to put it. But make sure that the water which comes out after filtration, it should not be less than 100 TDS. That is the standard. At least you have to make sure it is there in the water that you're drinking, and it is not depleted. The water is not a dead water. Apart from this, like, if you're living in the place where there is a lot of mud, where there is a lot of impurities, then obviously you might need to use the RO purifier. But what you can do is, you can put that water in a clay pot. So that just gives a little bit of, a good environment for the water. Make sure you're not putting it in any kind of plastic where, it is going to leach some chemicals out of it. The second thing which you can do is you can add some vinegar, either apple cider vinegar or any other pure vinegar, not the synthetic vinegar. So let's say if you have a 5 liter of water, in the 5 liter of water, you can add 2 to 3 drops of either apple cider vinegar or a few drops of lemon. So that just makes the water more alive. You just put something lively, ingredient which goes in, which is much more natural. So that just makes the water, that just makes the water more alive, and it just removes any kind of, imbalance which is related after the purification. But if your TDS is low, it is low below 300 or below 200, then you don't need to use any RO purifier. You can just use the normal filter or normal UV, or you can even boil the water and use, because I have seen this with a lot of my clients in the Gulf, in Kuwait, in Dubai, Muscat. They're living and they're just blindly drinking all this bottled water, which is all RO purified water. And when you check your tap water, it is less than 200, it is even 100, 150, which is absolutely fine. So make sure you check the TDS of your tap water and make the right decision, and not just, be sold for any kind of fancy purifiers, or like, there are purifiers who claim that, drink this water and this water is all cure. Understand that any water purifier trying to sell you that, this water is going to cure all the problem is a selling point, because the problem or a disease in the body is because of an imbalance, and no single element, or like, a water from a specific purifier which cost in multiples of lakh rupees, it is not going to solve your problem miraculously. So you need to understand and make wise and informed decision. Make sure you are using purifier, make sure you are using the water which is harming your body. It is not creating disease, it is not creating mineral deficiency, and it is also not harming the planet as well. So I hope this video helps you to give some idea about why the need of RO purifier. And obviously if your TDS is way above 100 or 1000 or 800, you get a boring water, then obviously you need to use that. But as I mentioned, put it in a clay pot, or put some drops of apple cider vinegar or some lemon into it, and then use it. Avoid storing it in the plastic container or, steel containers. Either use a glass or a mud pot if you can, so that, it is not leaching any chemicals from these metals and plastic containers. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Share this video with people whom you think it might help. Subscribe to the channel. Until then, make sure you drink a lot of water, and drink the right amount of water, which is going to help your body stay healthy effortlessly.